Introduction. Welcome to Single Mother's Money Miracle, Free Advice or Free Miracle. This book is dedicated to those who seek a new perspective on financial freedom and spiritual abundance. In a world where traditional financial advice often falls short, this book aims to challenge your thinking and introduce unconventional yet profound ideas. Through stories, insights, and practical suggestions, you will explore how small actions can lead to significant transformations. Whether you are a single mother facing financial struggles or simply seeking inspiration, this book offers a unique blend of wisdom and practical steps to help you tap into unseen energy sources and experience your own money miracle. We invite you to read with an open mind and heart. May this journey lead you to breakthroughs and blessings beyond your expectations. Chapter 1: The Miracle Within. The air was heavy with despair as the widow stood before the prophet Elisha. Her husband, a devoted servant of God, had passed away, leaving her with 2 sons and a mountain of debt. The cold grip of fear tightened around her heart, as creditors threatened to take her beloved boys as slaves to settle what was owed. With trembling hands and tear-filled eyes, she cried out, "Your servant my husband is dead, and you know that he revered the Lord. But now his creditor is coming to take my 2 boys as his slaves." Elisha's eyes softened with compassion. "How can I help you?" he asked gently. "Tell me, what do you have in your house?" The widow lowered her gaze, her voice barely above a whisper. "Your servant has nothing there at all," she replied, "except a small jar of olive oil." Elisha's expression brightened with divine wisdom. "Go around and ask all your neighbors for empty jars. Don't ask for just a few. Then go inside and shut the door behind you and your sons. Pour oil into all the jars, and as each is filled, put it to one side." With newfound hope stirring in her heart, the widow obeyed. She and her sons knocked on doors and gathered every empty jar they could find. Neighbors, seeing her desperation, offered what they had. She returned home, closed the door, and began to pour. The oil flowed. Jar after jar filled to the brim. With each filled vessel, her faith grew stronger. "Bring me another one," she said to her son. "There is not a jar left," he replied. And then the oil stopped flowing. Overwhelmed with awe and gratitude, the widow rushed to Elisha and shared what had happened. The prophet smiled and said, "Go sell the oil and pay your debts. You and your sons can live on what is left." In that moment, the widow realized that the answer to her crisis was within her all along. The small jar of oil, something she considered insignificant, became the source of her deliverance when combined with faith and obedience. Dear single mother, you too have something within you that can multiply and sustain you. Whether it is a skill, a talent, or a dream long buried, your jar of oil awaits. With faith, determination, and the support of those around you, your miracle is not only possible, it is inevitable. In the chapters ahead, we will explore practical steps and inspirational stories to help you discover and pour your own oil. Like the widow, you can overcome debt, fear, and uncertainty. Your breakthrough is just a step of faith away. Chapter 2: Ways Help Can Arrive. The widow's miracle was born from a small jar of oil, but it was her faith and obedience that unlocked divine provision. For single mothers today, similar miracles can manifest in different ways. Here are some ways help can arrive in your life. Creative business idea. Like the widow's oil, your hidden talents or skills, such as baking, crafting, or writing, can become a source of income when nurtured. Community support. Reach out to friends, family, and support groups. Just as neighbors provided jars, others may offer financial assistance, childcare, or emotional support. Unexpected provision. Sometimes help comes in the form of unexpected financial gifts, grants, or assistance from charities or churches. Debt relief programs. Explore options for debt forgiveness, reduced payments, or government aid that can ease financial burdens. Side hustle success. Starting a side business or freelancing can generate extra income. Even small steps can lead to significant financial relief over time. Financial wisdom and guidance. Seek financial counseling or educational resources to better manage your money and make informed decisions. Abundance mentality. Believe in the possibilities around you. Apply for better jobs, educational programs, or scholarships to improve your future. Divine connections. Engage with mentors, networking groups, or community leaders who can open doors to new opportunities and support. Miraculous savings or discounts. Look for unexpected discounts, free services, or generous provisions that reduce expenses and lighten your load. As you move forward with faith, be open to recognizing these forms of provision. Your jar of oil is already within you, waiting to be poured out and multiplied. Chapter 3. Where are you in the story? The story of the widow in 2 Kings, chapter 4, can be divided into 5 stages. Reflect on where you are in this journey. The loss. The widow had just lost her husband and faced financial distress. Are you newly single and overwhelmed with uncertainty? The cry for help. She sought Elisha's guidance. Are you at the point where you are reaching out for support and wisdom? The act of faith. She gathered jars and poured the oil in obedience. Are you taking steps of faith even when resources seem scarce? The overflowing miracle. The oil multiplied and filled every jar. Are you beginning to see small victories and provision in your life? The provision and rest. She sold the oil, paid her debts, and lived off the surplus. Are you experiencing financial stability and peace? Perhaps you are pregnant and without financial support, or facing a new challenge as a single mother. Wherever you find yourself, this story serves as a reminder that miracles unfold step by step. Trust the process and keep moving forward with faith. Chapter 4. The Power of Belief. Belief is the foundation of miracles. When the widow trusted Elisha's words, her circumstances shifted. Here are 5 ways to overcome doubt and fear. Daily affirmations. Speak positive truths over your life and future. Surround yourself with supportive people. Build a community of encouragers and mentors. Visualize success. Envision your goals and the path to achieve them. Practice gratitude. Focus on what you already have, no matter how small. Step out in faith. Take small actions that reflect your belief in better days ahead. Your belief can unlock the provision you need. Hold on to faith and watch your circumstances rearrange. Chapter 5. Be patient for your miracle. Up to this point, we've shared a powerful story, practical advice, and words of encouragement. Yet you may still find your circumstances unchanged. This is the moment to be patient and steadfast. In the chapters ahead, we will explore real miracles, testimonies of transformation and divine provision that will inspire and guide you. Your breakthrough is coming. Hold on to hope and keep believing. One powerful way to unlock change is by altering your feelings. Sometimes, small and unusual actions can shift your mindset. Here are some ideas. Dance in your living room. Write a letter of forgiveness, even if you never send it. Take a different route on your walk. Sing loudly in the shower. Try a new hobby or craft. Rearrange your furniture. Compliment a stranger. Start a gratitude journal. Meditate or practice deep breathing. When your heart lightens, new doors may open. Chapter 6. Reclaiming your power through unusual choices. To the courageous single mothers navigating the storms of life, this book is dedicated to you. In the face of overwhelming challenges, you have stood strong. Yet, even the strongest warriors need hope. In this chapter, we explore how money problems can feel like a loss of control, where the very essence of choice slips from our grasp. When we struggle financially, the power to choose where we live, what we do, and how we spend our time feels distant. The weight of the world presses on, and it can seem as though every decision is dictated by circumstances rather than by our own desires. However, it is in these very moments that we can regain our power through small, often unusual actions. When we are threatened, whether it is by financial hardship, societal expectations, or even intimidation from others, we tend to feel backed into a corner. We lose sight of our agency and feel as though we are at the mercy of those forces. Yet even in such times, we always have one choice left: how we respond. When we take unexpected, unconventional actions, we regain that elusive power. Take the example of someone facing a threatening situation, be it physical or emotional. When a person reacts with calmness or an unexpected response, perhaps laughing, making a bizarre comment, or refusing to engage with the intimidation, they throw the aggressor off balance. The power of the threat lies in the fear it instills, but when that fear is absent, when the person facing the threat acts in a way that is completely unpredictable, the power dynamic shifts. The aggressor, bewildered by the reaction, loses their grip. The person being threatened regains control by choosing how to respond. Similarly, when we face financial struggles, we can regain our power by making unconventional choices, those little actions that might seem small but carry immense weight in shifting our perspective. In these moments, as with the widow and her jar of oil, the key to transforming the situation lies within. When you choose to do something unusual, something outside of the box, you are not just acting against the threat, you are reclaiming your autonomy. The very act of choosing what you do in response to adversity is a declaration of your strength. As we reflect on the powerful lessons from the widow's story, remember that the resources you need, whether they are skills, talents, or even unexpected support, are already within your reach. The key is to use them in unconventional ways. Just like the widow who poured her small jar of oil into empty vessels, your small acts of courage and faith can multiply in ways you can't yet imagine. Your breakthrough is not far away, because you still have the power to choose. By embracing these unusual choices, we shift the narrative from one of victimhood to one of empowerment. The world may try to intimidate us, but in the end, we can always choose how to respond. Let your actions be a testament to your strength, and watch as they transform your life in ways you never expected. Chapter 7: The Power of Spiritual Electricity. When money is cut off, everything can come to a standstill, just like when the power goes out. Last week in Brisbane, Cyclone Alfred struck, and many experienced an electricity outage for 3 days. During that time, homes were left without light, refrigerators stopped running, and even basic tasks like cooking became more difficult. Without power, the daily flow of life seemed to come to a halt. The same happens when money is cut off. When financial resources run dry, everything we rely on feels like it stops working. We can't pay bills, buy food, or maintain the systems that keep our lives running smoothly. In the old days, oil was used for light, an essential resource for survival. Now, we rely on electricity to power our homes, devices, and even our livelihoods. But electricity, like money, is a resource that has the ability to flow and power up our lives. When it's cut off, we experience a kind of darkness, a sense of being disconnected from the things that bring comfort and stability. In the same way, when money is lacking, it can feel as though the systems we depend on have collapsed. The story of the widow in the Bible provides an insightful parallel. She was facing the dire situation of losing her two sons due to unpaid debts. She had no money, no resources, and felt desperate. But the prophet Elisha didn't simply give her money, he asked her what she had. She revealed that she had only a small jar of oil. In her case, the solution wasn't money, it was the oil that she had, and with faith it multiplied, bringing her the resources she needed to pay off her debts. For a single mother facing financial hardship today, the lesson is clear. Sometimes what we need is not more money, but spiritual electricity, the power to connect to resources that may not be immediately visible. The widow's oil represents faith, determination, and the small actions that can multiply when combined with belief. Like a power outage that reveals how much we depend on electricity, financial hardship often uncovers how much we depend on other sources of strength, such as faith, creativity, community, and perseverance. If money is in short supply, perhaps what is needed is a renewal of spiritual energy, a reconnection to the things that can provide light when everything seems dark. This spiritual electricity can come in many forms: a sudden inspiration, an act of kindness, a community support network, or a moment of peace that restores hope. Just like when the power is restored after an outage, the small acts of faith and resourcefulness in the face of financial challenge can reignite the flow of blessings and opportunities. Just as the widow's oil flowed freely when she acted in faith, the spiritual electricity that we tap into can provide the energy and guidance we need to keep moving forward, even in difficult times. When money is cut off, remember that your inner strength and the support around you can bring light back into your life, illuminating the way to your breakthrough. Chapter 8: Where to Find Your Spiritual Energy. In your search for spiritual energy, it's important to understand that this source is not hidden or exclusive. It's a place where people gather together, a space that is freely available to the public. And though you might expect something grand or difficult to access, the truth is that this energy is already all around you, often in places you would least expect. But before you rush to search for this mystical place, be patient. You may not like the answer, because your trained mind will likely resist it. You'll want a concrete answer, a place you can physically go to and see, touch, or feel. But here's the first surprising truth: you won't have to physically go anywhere. The energy you need is within reach, already available in your life. You simply have to learn to tap into it. And how do you tap into this energy? The method might sound strange at first, but remember this: strange is good. Strangeness has the power to throw fear off balance and challenge old ways of thinking. When faced with something unusual, your mind may resist, but that resistance is exactly what will help you break free from your old habits and limitations. Let me give you an example that will help you understand. There's a man who worked in pest control for 40 years. Over the course of his career, he entered thousands of homes, checking every nook and cranny for signs of pests. He visited bedrooms, kitchens, and living rooms, and noticed a curious thing about bed placement. While the majority of people had their beds lined up in a straight line with the wall, only 3 people had their bed positioned diagonally to the wall. This unusual bed placement stood out to him, and he reflected on it. Now, you might wonder, what does this have to do with spiritual energy and financial solutions? It's simple. The position of the bed is an example of how small, seemingly strange changes can offer a fresh perspective. While everyone else followed the norm, those few who placed their bed diagonally created a new flow of energy in their space. By shifting their perspective, they unknowingly disrupted the regular flow of energy in their environment, which could have impacted their mindset or even their financial situation in ways they didn't expect. In much the same way, if you want to tap into spiritual energy and find solutions to your financial struggles, you need to start looking at your situation from a different angle. The normal way of thinking, following the traditional rules and expectations, may have kept you stuck in the same cycle. It's time to be like those few people who position their bed diagonally. You don't have to follow the crowd or stay in the same patterns. When you allow yourself to make small but significant shifts, you open yourself up to a whole new flow of energy. And here's the fascinating thing about bed positioning. In some cultures, the way you place your bed is believed to affect your health, relationships, and financial success. In feng shui, for example, the command position of the bed is said to be one where the bed is placed diagonally from the door, allowing for a better flow of energy and offering a sense of security and balance. This small change in perspective is thought to allow for better rest, clearer thinking, and a more productive life. So, as you begin your journey to tap into spiritual energy, remember that the solution may seem strange at first. Don't let the unfamiliar make you turn away. Embrace it. Like the people who place their beds diagonally, take a small step outside of the norm. By shifting your perspective, you will start to see your financial and life challenges from a new angle. And it's from this fresh vantage point that your breakthrough will begin. Chapter 9: The Petrol Station and the Power of Energy. When it comes to petrol stations, it doesn't matter whether the station is big or small, new or old. What matters most is that the station has petrol. You can drive up to a station and buy a small amount or a large amount. It doesn't matter. Whether you purchase just $1 worth of petrol or $100, the station will serve you. It's the petrol that counts, not the size of the station or the age of the building. And while the staff may not always greet you with a smile, as long as the petrol is good, you'll be able to fill your tank. But here's an important lesson to take from this. It's the inside that matters, not the outside. The external appearance of the station, whether the building is old, broken, or even the attitude of the staff, doesn't affect the quality of the petrol you're getting. The key to a good fuel source lies in the clean, well-maintained tanks that store the petrol. Without those tanks being clean and free of contaminants, the quality of the fuel could be compromised, no matter how attractive or modern the station looks. It's what's on the inside that counts, as it's what determines whether you'll have a smooth, efficient ride ahead. This analogy can be applied to so much in life, especially when it comes to how we view energy, both physical and spiritual. Petrol and electricity, though different in their forms, serve the same purpose. They power our vehicles and lives. Whether you drive a car powered by petrol or an electric vehicle that needs to be charged, the concept remains the same. You're tapping into an energy source that fuels your journey. Petrol stations and electric car charging stations are both providing you with the energy you need to move forward. And just like with petrol, we have different ways of accessing energy in life. It doesn't matter if the station is large or small, old or new, what matters is the energy itself. Similarly, the source of our personal energy or spiritual fuel might not always come from the most obvious or polished places. It could come from an unexpected moment of inspiration, from the support of a community, or even from within yourself. What matters is that you have access to good energy, no matter the form it takes. Think about the times when you've tapped into your own reserves of energy. It may have been in moments of great challenge when you didn't feel particularly strong or capable, but somehow you found the strength to keep going. Like a petrol station, your internal reserves are a place where energy is stored and replenished. It doesn't matter how rough things seem on the outside. If you've taken care of what's on the inside, you can fuel up and keep moving forward. So just as a petrol station's clean tanks are key to ensuring quality fuel, take time to ensure that your inner reserves are being replenished with the right kind of energy, whether it's through rest, spiritual practice, or surrounding yourself with positive influences. Don't worry about the external appearances or the immediate circumstances. What matters most is the quality of the energy you're fueling your life with. Chapter 10: The Big Reveal. Now, let's talk about where to find this spiritual energy that can power your life, just like petrol fuels a car or electricity charges a vehicle. The place we are going to suggest is a normal, average local church. Yes, it may sound strange to you right now, but consider this carefully. Churches are very likely places of spiritual energy for several reasons. First, the energy comes from the people who gather there. A church is a place where individuals come together with shared beliefs, and the collective energy of those individuals creates a powerful environment. The unity, faith, and worship in a church bring about an atmosphere that fuels people in ways beyond the physical. It's not just about the building or the institution. It's about the energy generated by the hearts and souls of the people inside. Secondly, churches believe in the spiritual realm. They teach about the power of prayer, divine intervention, and the importance of spiritual connection. Many churchgoers refer to a special kind of energy as the anointing, a term often used to describe God's power or presence. They also speak of a place called heaven, which is considered a realm of peace, prosperity, and spiritual fullness. Whether or not you are familiar with these concepts, it's important to understand that the people in the church are tapping into something beyond the physical world. They believe in the supernatural, and this belief creates an energetic flow that can be accessed. Now, before you react, just consider that this could be the place of energy we're talking about. I know it sounds strange, but remember, as we've mentioned throughout this book, strange is good. It throws off fear, challenges old paradigms, and opens your mind to possibilities you may never have considered. You might not yet fully understand how this energy works or how to tap into it, but rest assured, we haven't yet revealed the method. You'll find that the church's energy, this spiritual fuel, is a key to unlocking what you need. Let's go back to our original story for a moment. The widow's husband worked for the company of the prophets. When she faced a crisis, she didn't just sit in despair. She took action and went to the source of energy, Elisha the prophet, and spoke with him. She understood that the power she needed to overcome her situation was not in her hands alone, but in connection with the source of divine energy. The widow connected with Elisha and his company of prophets, because that was where the energy was. And just like her, you too can connect with a source of spiritual energy to help fuel your life and overcome obstacles. The local church may seem like an ordinary place, but it is a place where that divine energy is available. In the next chapter, we'll reveal how to tap into this energy, how to connect with that source, and how you can use the power of a local church to fuel your journey. Stay tuned, because this is where your breakthrough begins. Chapter 11: Less is More, Turning Your Thinking Around. Patience, dear reader. We're about to delve even deeper into the strange and unconventional. But before we move forward, let's pause for a moment and consider something that might challenge your usual way of thinking about money and giving. There is a profound lesson in the story of the poor widow, found in the Bible. Then he sat down opposite the offering box and watched the crowd putting coins into it. Many rich people were throwing in large amounts, and a poor widow came and put in 2 small copper coins worth less than a penny. He called his disciples and said to them, "I tell you the truth, this poor widow has put more into the offering box than all the others. For they all gave out of their wealth. But she, out of her poverty, put in what she had to live on, everything she had." This is a powerful illustration that challenges our traditional thinking about giving. When we think about generosity, we often focus on the size of the gift. We tend to assume that the larger the gift, the greater the value it holds. But this story flips that thinking. The widow, with her 2 small copper coins, gave more than the wealthier people who offered larger sums. Why? Because she gave everything she had, and it came from a place of pure faith and trust. Her gift wasn't just a financial transaction, it was an offering of her heart, her belief, and her connection to something greater than herself. Now, you might be asking, what does this have to do with my financial struggles and finding spiritual energy? Here's where we start turning your thinking around. This story shows us that less is more. It's not about how much you give, but why you give it and where you place your trust. The widow's act was about connecting to something deeper. She wasn't just offering money, she was offering her faith and her future. When you give, it's not about the size of the gift, it's about the intention behind it. This is a key principle that can reshape your approach to money, giving, and even how you connect with energy. You see, money doesn't just work in physical transactions. It connects you to things, whether you're aware of it or not. For example, if you bet on a horse, your money is connected to that horse's race, its energy, and its success. If you buy a lottery ticket, your money is connected to the energy of possibility and hope. When you buy shares in a company, your money becomes linked to that company's success, its future growth, and its energy. The same goes for something as simple as a train ticket. When you buy that ticket, your money connects you to the journey, to the train, to the energy of travel and motion. Whether it's a plane ticket or a train ticket, you are not just paying for a physical service, you are connecting to the energy of the experience. The act of purchasing something connects you to its energy, its movement, its purpose. This is why money is such a powerful tool. It creates connections. And just like you connect to these external things, you can connect to something even greater. You can connect to the energy of a community, to a place of faith, and to a spiritual source. It's not about the size of the offering, but about the connection you make. In the next chapter, we will show you how to plug into the energy at a church of your choosing. Just like you use money to connect with all sorts of things, you can use it and your intention to connect with the spiritual energy available in a church. It's not about the amount you give, but about where you choose to place that energy. Remember, less is more. When you give from a place of faith, when you connect with your intention, you can access spiritual energy that will change your life. And the next chapter will reveal how to make that connection at your local church. Stay with us, this is only the beginning. Chapter 12, Turning Things Around, a strange but powerful idea. Let's return to our pest control man. This man, for over 40 years, had faithfully given to his local church. He was generous, and he believed in the promises the church made when they took up the offering. Every Sunday, he would give a significant portion of his earnings, thinking that his generosity was connected to blessings and prosperity. But one day something changed. He decided to take a closer look at the promises that were being made during the offering time. He had been hearing the preacher quote scriptures about blessings, abundance, and God's favor, but the pest control man had an unsettling feeling. He began to study the scriptures for himself, and what he discovered surprised him. The preacher, he realized, was often using scripture out of context. He exaggerated the benefits of giving, suggesting that those who gave large amounts would receive blessings in an almost transactional way. But as the pest control man continued his study, he began to see that some of what the preacher was saying wasn't even in the Bible. Perplexed, the man spoke to a lawyer friend, asking for advice. The lawyer listened to his concerns and then said something that shook him. If this preacher was working in the financial sector, he would be charged with fraud. He is promising returns based on misinformation, and that's dangerous. The pest control man was stunned. He had been giving for years with good intentions, but now something didn't feel right. He decided to take a step back. He still loved the church, still wanted to be connected to its energy, but he knew he had to approach things differently. He wanted to continue giving, but he didn't want to perpetuate the misunderstanding of giving as a way to buy blessings or favor. So, he made a bold decision. He still wanted to be connected to the spiritual energy of the church, but he didn't need to give large sums of money. Instead, he decided to give just $1 every week as an offering. But here's the kicker: he didn't tell anyone. No one at church knew about his small offering. Weeks passed, and over time he began to notice something remarkable. His financial situation started improving, slowly at first, but then more rapidly. His business began to thrive in ways it never had before, and he could hardly believe the difference. After 7 weeks, he could say with certainty that his financial life had never been better. What was the secret? It wasn't the size of his gift. It wasn't the amount he gave, but rather the intention behind it. By giving a small, humble amount each week, he was connecting to the spiritual energy of the church, but he had removed the expectation of financial returns based on exaggerations or false promises. Instead, he was giving in faith, trusting that his connection to the church was enough. This story, strange as it may sound, is an invitation to you, dear reader. We suggest that you give $1 per week to any church in the world. The method is simple: do it online through a donation platform and watch how things unfold in your own life. It's a small, seemingly insignificant amount, but the power is not in the size of the gift. The power lies in your intention and your connection to the spiritual energy that the church represents. Why $1? It's cheap, accessible, and non-committal. It's a strange but affordable way to test this idea. You don't have to make a grand gesture, and you don't need to tell anyone what you're doing. Just give it quietly and watch your financial situation transform, just as the pest control man's did. It's an experiment, but one that could change your life. Stay with us, and in the next chapter, we'll explore how to tap into this spiritual energy more effectively. It's a strange idea, but sometimes the strangest ideas lead to the most profound results. Chapter 13: The Power of a Symbolic Dollar. In the world of business, sometimes we hear of companies being sold for a symbolic $1. It might sound strange, but it's a practice that represents something far beyond the monetary value of the sale. The $1 symbolizes a transfer of ownership, a symbolic gesture rather than a financial transaction. The company may be sold to continue its legacy or to ensure its survival, but the actual dollar is merely a token, a representation of something deeper. In many cases, the $1 becomes a way to signify that the true value is not in the money, but in the vision, the history, and the mission that are being passed on. This concept can be applied to the $1 offering we are encouraging you to give. Just as a business may be sold for a symbolic dollar, your small offering can hold great symbolic significance. It's not about the dollar itself, but what it represents. Think of the widow in the temple who gave 2 small copper coins. Jesus said, "I tell you the truth, this poor widow has put more into the offering box than all the others. For they all gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything she had to live on." Mark chapter 12 verses 43 to 44. While she still had her clothes, she gave all the money she had. Her offering wasn't about the value of the coins, but about her heart and her willingness to surrender what she had. Your $1 offering can be just like that. It can represent everything you have, your faith, your trust, and your connection to something bigger than yourself. It symbolizes your willingness to give, even when you feel like you don't have much. Just as the oil in the widow's jar represented her entire situation, your $1 offering can represent your entire world. In the original story of the widow and the jar of oil, what appeared to be a small and insignificant item, the oil, was actually the means of her provision. It was through that small jar that her life was transformed. Consider the example of a soldier who receives a medal of bravery. The medal itself may not be worth much in terms of money, but what it represents, the courage and sacrifice of the soldier, is invaluable. It symbolizes the bravery and the lives lost in the line of duty, carrying with it a deep sense of honor and respect. Similarly, a grandmother's wedding ring may hold little monetary value, but its worth is immeasurable in terms of family legacy, love, and memory. That small piece of jewelry carries the story of generations, the connection to past and future. Your $1 offering may seem small in the grand scheme of things, but it represents so much more. It represents your life, your trust, your journey, and your connection to something larger than yourself. It's not about the amount, it's about what that $1 symbolizes: your faith, your hope, your commitment, and the love you have for your children. When you give that $1, you are offering up a piece of your life, your energy, your time, and your dreams. You are giving with intention, and that intention carries great power. So, as you prepare to make your offering, remember this: the $1 is not just a dollar. It represents your entire world and the future you are building for your children. It's a symbol of your faith, your trust, and your willingness to be part of a larger story. Just as the widow gave all she had, your offering can represent everything you have, and through it, you can connect to a spiritual energy that will transform your life. Your $1 can become a powerful symbol, just like a soldier's medal or a grandmother's ring. It's not about the size of the gift, it's about what that gift represents. And when you give with that understanding, you open the door to abundant possibilities. Chapter 14: The Power of Small Actions. As you stand at the crossroads of this decision, we want to give you the freedom to choose where to direct your $1 offering. You can give it to a church, a cause, a person, or any source of spiritual energy that resonates with you. The important thing is to understand that this small offering can be a conduit for something much larger. Just as electricity flows through even the smallest of wires, your $1 can serve as a tiny yet powerful connection to something much bigger than you. Think about how electricity works. It doesn't matter if the wire is thick or thin, long or short, the electricity flows as long as there is a connection. A very small wire can carry a significant amount of energy. In the same way, a small financial action like giving $1 can create a flow of energy in your life. Consider how we create people. Life begins with a single cell, one small, unique cell that divides and grows into a whole person. And often, that single cell is created by a very brief moment of physical activity. In the same way, it may take only a small action, a $1 offering, to start a process that can lead to significant financial change. Why then, can't a very small financial activity create a large solution to your financial situation? Why can't that $1 be the start of something bigger? It's not about the size of the action, it's about the energy behind it. It's about what that small action symbolizes: faith, trust, and a connection to a higher source of energy. We encourage you to try this idea. Give your $1 to something that feels right for you. Or Perhaps you can come up with your own idea of how to use this small act of financial energy to spark something larger in your life. Trust that your small contribution, no matter how humble, has the potential to create a ripple effect of change, just like that tiny cell grows into something greater. Our hope is that this book has shaken you out of your normal way of thinking, that it has encouraged you to see your finances and your actions from a different perspective. Small steps, when taken with intention, can lead to incredible results. Thank you for taking the time to read, reflect, and explore new possibilities. We hope that whatever you choose to do with your $1, it will open new doors for you, and that the energy you tap into will lead to a future of financial peace and abundance. Chapter 15: Conclusion and Encouragement. As we come to the end of this journey together, we want to thank you for joining us in exploring a new perspective on finances, energy, and faith. What we've shared throughout this book is not just about a $1 offering. It's about opening your mind to the possibilities that come when you take small, intentional actions. The principle behind this idea is simple. Small acts can lead to big changes, and sometimes the most unlikely actions can unlock the biggest solutions. This experiment is not about the money itself, but about shifting your mindset. It's about connecting to a source of energy that has the potential to transform your financial situation. Maybe you gave $1 to a local church, an organization, or a cause that holds meaning for you. Perhaps you felt a shift in your energy, in your thinking, or even in your circumstances. Or maybe you didn't see immediate changes, but you've been able to hold on to a new way of thinking about money and energy that will serve you in the long term. Whatever your experience has been, we would love to hear from you. How did this experiment work for you? Did you see a change in your financial situation, or perhaps your outlook on your finances? Maybe your story can inspire someone else who is feeling stuck or uncertain. We believe that sharing our experiences helps others realize they're not alone and that there's always room for growth and change. If you've come up with your own idea or variation of this experiment, we encourage you to share it. Your creativity and insights can be a source of encouragement for others who are trying to break free from the limitations of traditional thinking. Maybe you found a new way to connect your small financial actions to a greater purpose. Or perhaps you've discovered another method to tap into the energy that's available to you. We believe that the power of community and shared experiences can be a force for change. By sharing your story or idea, you're not only helping yourself, but also lifting up others who are seeking a new way forward. And finally, if this book has been helpful to you, we encourage you to leave a review. Your feedback can inspire others to try this experiment, and your words may be the encouragement someone else needs to take that first step toward a new and abundant life. Thank you again for being part of this journey. We're excited to hear how this experiment has impacted your life, and we're looking forward to the stories of transformation that are sure to come. Stay open, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of small actions. Your $1 offering could be the start of something extraordinary. Thanks for reading. Tony Eager.